MD is the biggest and baddest hardcore bodybuilding mag and website in the world. MD is #1. No bull.
All right, bodybuilding fans, Bob Chick along with David Bay. We are here at the Tribeca, back at the New York Pro. Once again, a great lineup and a whole bunch of pros here on stage. David, our resident expert in the men's physique. We're going to go to you for the breakdown. How did you see it?
No disrespect to the other guys. Kind of came down to a two-person show, as we saw with the call-outs, with the judges sending Jason and Sadiq off stage, bringing them out as the last two to be compared. Pretty good top five. I saw some guys with Matt Christianaire, Anton Antipov, so a couple other big names here, but look for Jason Poston and Sadiq to be 1 and 2. As far as which way they're leaning, it was too close to call for me. So I prefer Jason's physique a little bit to Sadiq's. That being said, Sadiq's waist is absolutely incredible. Yeah. It's like this big, and I know a couple guys said online it looks like it was a little flat. Maybe it was just a picture that they saw or the way he was standing, but it's most certainly not flat or washed out. Sadiq's his waist is incredible, but again, it'll be a close call whichever way it goes.
Well, both guys in great shape, so we're going to look for that showdown. It might come down to tonight. Of course, the judges always have the option of rejudging at nighttime. On to the ladies, and of course, we were stacked up. Women's physique, bikini, and figure all here on stage.
Yeah, women's physique came down to basically a one-person show, and that's kind of what everybody thought it would be. It was Juliana Malacarne. This will probably be her third win. I don't see it playing out any other way. A couple other girls in here, not any other the big names that we've seen at some of the other shows. Obviously, some girls who looked really good. This is a professional level, but I think Juliana walked away with it.
Yeah, I think that was pretty much established the second she came in. Now, she's made some improvements. Now, even though she's won the last 2 years, David, she's made dramatic improvements to her physique, in my opinion, to try to get that title at the Olympia from DLB. So have the changes been well received in your opinion?
You know, I think that the fans love her. She's got a great look, but I really think in this division, until you have people standing next to each other, and that's something that you can say about every division, it's so hard to say whether she's going to have what it takes to to move up into first place at the Olympia, because I think she was actually in like 6th place at the Olympia this last year.
But arguably much more muscular, too, at that show.
Considerably, yeah. So it'll be interesting to see the way things play out. I definitely see her as being a contender for one of the top 3 spots at the Olympia with the reduction in size, but still keeping that great shape and structure.
Now, if Juliana wins here tonight, which we're forecasting, that makes 2 in a row. Dallas last week, New York. Do you shut it down to the Olympia?
That's a business move for her. I mean, I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to look at the list if they're having physique in Toronto. You'd have to say
they got them all in Toronto, yeah.
Yeah, so you'd have to say for her it's an easy paycheck. As to whether she wants to diet for another week and travel, that's up to her. From a business standpoint, being that there are limited opportunities and she's already in good shape, personally I would say go do it, get another paycheck, put another win under your belt, but she certainly doesn't need it as she's already qualified.
Well, speaking of more wins, women's bikini, we'll finish up the night here, and we'll get into figure in just a second. Ashley Kaltwasser, your reigning Olympia champ, and pretty much has won every show she's gone into, showing up here in New York. Anybody beating her?
I don't think so. I think Ashley's good enough to win. You know, some of these girls, you get the top 5, 6 bikini girls, and they're so close that really you could nitpick. I like this one. I like that one.
Top 5 was a who's who in bikini. I mean, all the top names were the first call out.
Yeah, you had Stacey Alexander, Yashira Robles, you had Narman, you had Lacey DeLuca. So it was a really, really good bikini lineup. I think we'll probably see Ashley Kaltwasser win again. As I've stated before, for as small of a frame as she's just got this gigantic bubble butt, and it's not like—
Is that a bad thing?
No, it's not at all. It's not fat. She's just got a muscular bubble butt for a girl in a small frame, and so when she's doing her turns and turns to the back, I think that's what really separates her from the rest of the group.
Well, they show they say bodybuilding shows are one from the back. I guess bikini no exception. On to figure, the last women's division to be on the stage. Kamala Rodriguez clearly in the driver's seat. Looked great, but she had some competition as well.
Yeah, they flip-flopped the final 3. They brought Kamala and Lori Green and Jennifer Strobo were in the first call-out with a handful of other girls. They brought them out at the end, and they flipped around a little bit, which I like to see. They put Lori in the middle. The way the judges are spread out here, it's nice for the judges to see people at a different angle. You might think it's easy to judge it regardless of where they're standing, but when you really spread the judges out and with the lighting and stuff, it's nice to flip-flop them a little bit. The judges get a good look. This was the only division to me that had a really big surprise in it. Heather Dees, who I believe she was 2nd at the Arnold, 4th at the Olympia.
Pretty much a perennial top 5 finisher.
Yeah, when we talked last night, she was the favorite. She came in way off, and when I say way off, I mean way off. She was a little bit shaky during her posing. to give Heather the benefit of the doubt, I'm going to assume that there was something along the way, that whether it was an illness or a personal issue or something. She's a professional, and she's always consistent. So the way she looked today, you know, some people, I think, going into a show looking that way might have said if they are having those issues, maybe, you know, put the show on hold or whatever. You know, but some people's mindset is, hey, if I got my mindset on doing a show, I'm going to do it regardless. Again, I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt, say that something happened and it wasn't a matter of her work ethic or her, you know, her prep or anything like that. But the only real big surprise of the show to me.
All right. Well, David, thanks for the ladies' report and, of course, the men's physique. You can always count on you to break down the men's physique. All right, David, we're going to let you get out of here. We're going to bring in our resident expert in the men's division, 212 and the men's open, of course, Ron Harris, senior writer over at MD. How'd you see the 212, buddy?
I think, you know, Guy Cisternino walked into this show with the win from Dallas as the favorite, and pretty confident he's going to walk away with this show, too. But it wasn't a cakewalk. I thought Baito, who he was in the open.
Baito Abispor was in the 212.
He wasn't the 212. He moved. He gave him a real run for his money.
And a fan favorite here. You heard the fans go crazy. Baito hitting the vacuum pose, which is like seeing a dinosaur these days. Pretty much extinct from anybody, but he hit it and hit it well.
And not only that, but Guy is known for his legs, his quads. Next to Baito, his quads looked very average. Right. Baito's quad, when he turned to the side, the sweep was coming out like 3 feet away from his body. It was insane.
And Baito started out on the end and kind of kept working his way to the middle with each successive call-out. So it looked like he was working his way. Coach Dennis James beating him into the ground all weekend after that lackluster performance cost him a top 5 spot in Dallas.
Yeah, you know, I see awkwardness in his posing that sort of holds him back. His presentation could definitely improve, but physique-wise, he's right up there. He's going to be a factor at the Olympia this year, I believe.
Anybody else standing out to you in the 212 round?
I thought Craig Richardson looked really good. Very good balance overall, good condition.
Marco Rivera also in that first call-out.
Yeah, Marco was a surprise. He's improved since last year. I remember being kind of harsh in my comments about him last year. They needed more size, and he definitely listened to a lot of critics, apparently, and he came back much better. I was impressed.
How you seeing that going down tonight now in the placings? Do you see anybody beating Guy, or is it his for the taking?
I think it's going to be Guy, but I would not be surprised if Baito gets a couple first-place votes, too. Sure. I don't think it's going to be a clean sweep.
All right, well, that's why they have the night show, and, of course, the men are judged in the confirmation round of scoring tonight. 50% of their scoring coming along tonight, so the show is definitely not over after prejudging. On to the open round. Now, we had some names kind of piling in here in the last minute, although we had a suspicion that we'd see Big Ramy in here and Bayeki, and, of course, they were here in the lineup. Let's start with the big man himself, the defending champ. We got Big Ramy back on stage. Look better than last year. Is it enough to take the win here again and make it 2 in a row?
Yeah, he's so overwhelmingly massive. He makes everybody else look small when they stand next to him. Juan Morel is not a small man. No. If you stand next to Juan, he's very large. He's enormous. But Ramy just takes up so much space. And the fact that he's got good shape and a fairly small waist, it's very tough to beat. I don't believe he's been anywhere beyond 85 or 90% condition-wise yet.
Just kind of frightening when you think about it.
And apparently the frightening thing is, at a show at this level, that's all he needs to just overwhelm and dominate everybody.
Well, Juan's certainly pushing him for everything he had, and Juan, of course, a local boy, so he had a lot of fans out here pushing him on, and, you know, he's getting kind of more hyped up. But like I said, great structure on Juan's. Got to bring up a few parts, of course, the legs in particular, as we all know. But he's made significant improvements. Can he give Ramy a push, or is he pretty much looking for second place here?
He's looking for second. You know, condition-wise, he brought a much better condition package than Ramy by far. Sure. But Ramy's legs are just, you know, when your legs are lagging, you don't want to be standing next to a guy with probably sheer size-wise the biggest legs in pro bodybuilding today, and that's Ramy.
Yeah, fair assessment on that one. Well, that's pretty much looking like our top 2, but Lionel Bayeki showed up. Now, we were all expecting kind of a sharper, better version from that still talked about Brazil show. A lot of people thinking he got overlooked or he should have been at least second place if not winning the show. But I didn't see that here. What I saw was kind of a return to the old Lionel. Great muscle, round muscle bellies, great shape, proportion. He's got it all except conditioning.
You know, I know some fans. I'm a fan of his physique, and I have nothing against the man at all. But his condition was so off, I was appalled that he was in that first call-out. To me, that was a soft, unconditioned guy that looked 6 weeks out, minimum. Shouldn't have been up in that first call-out. There was a couple guys that I saw. Marius Doan should have been in that first call out.
Done looked very good and much improved. I, too, could have had him in the first call-out, but I'm a fan of his physique. And another local boy done good, John De La Rosa. You got to give it up for, man. He may have been the most complete guy on this stage, if not just for losing so much size and muscle to Big Ramy.
Yeah, and you know, I have a feeling Lionel's probably gonna place ahead of him. Maybe not. We'll see what happens. But to me, Jonathan beats him all day. Just condition-wise, balance. You can't come to a show like this and look so sloppy. I'm sorry. And Jonathan brought the condition.
A couple of rookies, Max Charles and Akeem Williams, making their debut here. Anybody stand out here, or they need a little bit more seasoning?
I think, you know, Max, if his legs ever come up to match that crazy upper body, he's going to be scary. Akeem, he's like a diamond in the rough. He's got all the size in the world. Just enormous arms, legs, chest, so much round, thick muscle. He's somebody to watch when he puts his condition together and just starts to fine-tune and season everything.
All right, Ron, well, thanks for that report. That wraps it up here at the Tribeca. Of course, the prejudging now in the books tonight. The finals right here on this stage, 6 o'clock. Stay tuned right on MD. They'll have the play-by-play, and, of course, we'll have all the results for the ladies and the gentlemen. Can Big Ramy make it 2 in a row and punch his ticket to the Olympia? We'll see tonight here in New York.
MD is the biggest and baddest hardcore bodybuilding mag and website in the world. MD is #1. No bull.